Have you ever watched a movie and the whole time you're like, this is something that should be like made for cable or on Netflix? Yeah, that's what I had. What up, everybody? It's your boy D coming at you with an episode of the DA Experience. I got a movie review for you, and this week it's Hellboy. A little backstory here. First off, I loved the original Hellboy. This came out in like the early 2000s. I remember getting the DVD. I remember wanting to see it because I wasn't familiar with the character. But the movie looked so good. The monsters looked so good. The costume, it looked great. It's the movie that made me a fan of Guillermo del Toro. After this, I went back and I think everybody remembers he did Blade 2 before this. So I wasn't sure what he was as a director, but I remember this and I loved that movie. Went out, saw Pan's Labyrinth. I got nominated for an Oscar. One of my favorite movies of all time is Pacific Rim. What was the other one he did? Crimson Peak. He just knows how to do monsters and horror well. And he mixed this humor and he mixed this action and this complex character together to make what I think is a pretty iconic movie. Fast forward a couple of years, and he's been trying to get a sequel made, a part 3, and things fell apart, and things went this way, that way, and he left the movie. I learned now that I will not be seeing movies unless it's got the original director. I went and saw Hellboy with David Harbour, and I wasn't sure what to make of it. I was like, all right, I get it. They're trying to reboot the franchise. It's been about 10, 11 years since the last one. So it's time to start over with a new actor. I wanted them to get Ron Perlman back, but what are you going to do? Unfortunately, even though I saw the picture of David Harbour, I did not like this movie. I hate to say don't like something, but the whole time I'm watching it, it just seemed rinky-dink and hokey. Ian McShane is in the movie and he's delivering lines like, like with his voice, with that Deadwood voice, talking like things coming out of justice. And David Harbour did good as Hellboy, but when the actual writing and story is going along, it just didn't click. When he was more ad-libbing and improvising, I was like, okay, that felt like Hellboy. They tried to set up characters and all this other story, and it kept losing track of where it was with the main plot. It's like playing a video game and you go on a side quest. You play a video game, you go on a side quest, but where's the main quest? That's what it felt like. It felt like they were trying to include a lot for fans of Hellboy, which I understand. I'm a fan of Hellboy movies. I haven't really read the comics before. But what it was like is that they were trying to include this and include this and include this. And I feel like if I had known more about the Hellboy character, I would have had a better experience with this. A lot of stuff just went over my head. There were some interesting points, and there was one or two good action sequences, but it's like a lot of talking and exposition, and I just would have liked to have seen more action in this movie. I would have liked to have seen Hellboy raising hell, pretty much. At the end of the day, it just left me wanting more, and I'm watching it the whole time. I'm like, if this was on Netflix, I would sit here and watch this. This would have been really enjoyable. I would have loved to have done that for it came from Netflix. But because the CGI, like, it's almost like it was an indie movie. Like, they didn't have the budget they wanted, and they spent the budget on some of the costumes. When they did the practical effects and some of the other monsters, it looked really good. When they had the CGI on the screen, though, it looked like something out of 2002 that the original Hellboy did way better. Going forward, I don't know if this franchise is going to be able to, have a sequel, even if they try to set up one. But we'll see, depending upon how much money the movie makes this weekend. But I don't know. All I'm going to say to you all is save it. Wait for it to come on Netflix. Watch it then. Do not go out in the theater and see this movie. It's okay at best. It has a couple of good moments. But I found myself watching my watch a lot. In 2 hours and a minute. That's how long the movie is. I was kind of like, you know what? I just checked out. That'll do it for me. That's my review this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. If you want to see another video, click over there. If you want to see us subscribe, click right there. That'll do it. I'm out. See you at the movies. Here's hoping it's a good one. Peace!